In this episode of Behind the Curve, we'll be showing you how we spent our last week in the US, namely in the city of San Diego and then Slab City. Although it takes only 2 hours and a half by car to get from one to the other, they are worlds apart, as you will see. But let's start with Mission Beach in San Diego.
Willy! Tom, attention! So Mummy's been running, the kiddos were on their bike. Technically, Elliot was more in my arms than on his bike, but it's alright. And here's the view. And you can tell that Christmas is already here, right?
Can you believe that it's already been 3 months that we are in the US? And the country is so big that we had to keep moving every 2 or 3 days to visit everything we wanted to check out during this trip. And as much as the boys and ourselves adapted very well to the van life and we love traveling, moving like that got us quite tired at some points. So we decided to stay put in one place, Mission Beach, San Diego. So we spent a couple of days playing in the sand and in the waves, and also thinking about our dog that we couldn't take with us and was staying with my mother in the French countryside. Given San Diego is such a big city, we also took advantage of it and decided to fix the faucet that wasn't running anymore in our van, which means we didn't have running water for the past month. And we also enjoyed the very first and last burger we've ever had in the US for 3 months, and also prepared for Mexico and tried to get ourselves as beautiful as possible. So the kids are sleeping, and the best way we found to kill time with Shaka is to depilate ourselves.
Je me sens déjà venir.
So the kids are still sleeping, so I can't scream. That's the deal.
There is no coming back. T'es prêt?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh mais ça marche super bien, regarde. Tout est parti.
Ouch.
Je te jure que tout est parti.
Ça te tire les...
Mais quoi?
There are people on the street who can see us.
1, 2, 3, go! Non. 1, 2, 3, go! Ça fait pas 1, 2, 3.
We had heard about Slab City and the Mountain of Salvation, just 2 hours and a half driving distance from San Diego, and we really had to check it out because from what we heard, it was quite a special place, and it didn't disappoint us.
So we are in the south of California in a place called Salvation Mountain. So it's a former Korean War veteran who started this outdoor artwork, and it was simply to put out a message out there that God is love. So I think that regardless of your beliefs, I think he quite made a point. And the place where this is erected is a place called Slab City. It's dubbed as the last free place in the USA, and it's quite an interesting place. So I think we're going to spend the night here. There's lots of dogs running around free, lots of trailers and camping cars that I'm not sure are roadworthy anymore, but it looks like a very interesting place, and the kids are having a good time with the paint, and they can run free, so they quite enjoy it. Here we are, still at Slab City, so we spent the night here. It was quiet besides the trains, so there's a train track not far from here. I think there were trains probably every half an hour or something like that, but it was alright. The good thing is it's completely empty, so the kids can really run around, do whatever they want, play in the dirt. We'll clean them afterwards, but freedom. That is freedom to them.
Slab City won hands down the competition of the weirdest place we visited in the US on this trip. The population counts about 150 people who live there permanently and bathe in these hot springs, which is the only source of water around there. And the population rises to 5,000 people with the snowbirds who come down every winter. The government in the US doesn't look after this property at all, which means there are no rules, no services at all, and everything is up to the people who live there. We are now taking you to East Jesus, which is an arty community that lives on the outskirts of Slab City, with exhibitions held all year round. It's a kind of an outdoor museum where you can pretty much touch anything and do whatever you want, which is as dangerous as exciting, especially when taking kids there, but we're really glad that they could play with everything because they had so much fun. They didn't injure themselves despite all the glass and all the dangerous stuff that you can find there, and we had one of the best time ever because they were so curious about everything there. Given we spent the night in Slab City, we went back there twice, which means that the locals started to recognize us, which was great because we could cook them a meal and engage in deeper conversations than people who just go quickly. And we had a great chat with Mopad, who is one of the main residents there and greets every visitor with his glorious smile and yin and yang tattoo on his forehead, and tells you everything about this place, about the history of Slab City, and about his own history that is quite interesting. So we're really grateful for the great people we met there and the time we spent. These were effectively the last few days we spent in the US, and we had such a great time in this amazing country. We couldn't believe the landscapes, the places, the people we met there. We had really an amazing time, and we couldn't recommend enough to anyone who likes traveling to really give a chance to the US, because as much as we believe we know a lot about the country, it really is worth going there, especially if you have time to travel slowly through the States. But the time came for us to start a new page on this journey and cross the border into Mexico. I had lived there 12 years ago and hadn't been since there, and I couldn't wait to take Shaka and the kids with me. So bear with us, because in the next episode of Behind the Curve, we're crossing into Mexico.